We are going to start season 4. Welcome to the SelfSeed podcast. Welcome to season 4. Season 3 was scripted. By the grace of God, we have finished 2025. Well, it's our podcast, yeah? And in this season, I'm just going to have honest, raw conversations unfiltered. This season 4 is called the constructive journal. This is my space to think out loud, but with discipline. I will be sharing unscripted conversation, grounded reflection, right? This is the first episode, and this is just to welcome you to the SelfSeed podcast. The SelfSeed podcast is just a space where we get to plant the seeds of the future. So lately, I've been thinking about how I'm going to go about the SelfSeed podcast, how I'm going to do this new season, because I have intended to start a new season because season 3 was amazing. It went amazing. I've had amazing voices. As we know that season 3 was all about new voices, and it has gone from 2024 to 2025. That's 2 years. The SelfSeed has been running, but not per se the SelfSeed, but the season 3. And new year, new voices, right? And we have had amazing people come to the podcast. I've hosted amazing people, and lately I've just been thinking, how do I proceed in this new year, in this new season? How do I proceed? And just a few minutes ago, I was doing an online question and answer. I used the ChatGPT to actually try to brainstorm how I'm going to start this season. And I just let it ask me questions, and based on my answer, like question and response, almost 10 questions, but one by one, as based on how I respond, then it helps me to, get a clear mind about how I'm going to do this episode, this season in particular. So if you're listening to this particular episode, right, welcome to the SelfSeed podcast. Welcome to season 4. And in my thinking process, I have realized a lot, right? I have realized that season 3 was having a lot of I was walking by the script, always making sure that I ask the right questions, making sure that I speak or I share ideas in a well thought manner. I know you understand when I say scripted. And it was amazing, but at some point I started feeling that, drain and energy drain, and I was almost feeling like, oh wait, I should stop. Yeah. And by the grace of God, we have finished 2025. We had finished 2025, and I thought maybe it will be good to start a new year. I actually had 3 episodes yet to be recorded to just conclude the season 3. I have my computer. Why don't I just check? Wait, from my list. What did I want to talk about? So I had 4 episodes planned. I did the episode where I talked about why startup plans fail in developing countries, the real reason. And then my second episode in that short series to conclude the year or the season was 7 secret habits that turn shy people into networking ninjas. So if I'm mentioning these episodes, especially these 2, and you haven't watched, try to go back and watch them, right? And then the next episode that was coming now was how AI is making human communication the most valuable skill in 2025. The title is even 2025, meaning I was supposed to do it before the year ended. But having a lot of guests and me also being featured on another episode, I thought, well, could be done in 2026. And the 4th episode that was coming was 7 surprising ways EQ boosts your leadership impact. All of these were well prepared, well ready to rock and roll. But through my thinking today, I think I have come to the conclusion that we are going to start season 4. We are going to start season 4, since this is it's our podcast. Yeah, don't mind me. It's our podcast, but we're going to start season 4. And in this season, I'm just going to have honest, should we call them honest or raw conversations? I think we should call them honest, raw conversations, unfiltered, where I just get to think loud, until I get the answer, until I get the response. Should we say the response? Yeah, until I get the response. So this is the first episode, and this is just to welcome you to the SelfSeed podcast. If you're new, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, the SelfSeed podcast is just a space where we get to plant the seeds of, like, the seeds of the future, what we want to become. And here we share thoughts, ideas, and all things in between, especially in entrepreneurship, personal development, faith. I think faith, faith. And I share all of this just to see, for someone who is out there listening, a young person like me or an old person, which I've realized that this episode has a lot of listeners of different age, especially 25 to 37, 35 or 37, which means it's the youth category, but yeah, older people, some older than me. And that's the whole purpose of the SelfSeed podcast, unfiltered stories where we get to hear from different people. We get to hear different scenarios, different ways that we can navigate our lives, right? And this season 4 is I called it specifically the constructive journal. The constructive journal because I will be sharing unscripted conversation, grounded reflection, right? I'm going to try and use the question, story, problem format where I'm going to begin to think about a recent thing that I'm facing and just provide my insights based on how I am navigating all of that. And story, meaning I'll reflect on something that happened this week. And, well, I'll try to think about it, how I navigated it until I get the results. And also problem, like if I'm facing any challenge or even if my friends face any challenge, I think this will be my spot to share. So season 4 is probably going to be interesting and at some point boring, but I wouldn't allow you to think it is going to be boring, because then you're going to learn a lot from me. And in the previous season, we concluded by the last episode. Yeah, I was invited to my friend's show called Everything Unpacked, and in that show, being in that show, it made me realize that I haven't, in a while now, I haven't shared real stories. I haven't shared my genuine thoughts, right? And so I think this is one of those seasons, like season 2 and season 1, where I got to share raw thoughts, which if you go and listen to season 1, I'm pretty sure you will say this guy came from afar. He came from afar. But yeah, in season 1, when I was starting the podcast in 2018, I was talking just these random thoughts. You can hear the birds in the background. But here we are today. So we're going to be honest in this season without oversharing. And so if you see me having new people, new voices on the podcast in this season as well, just understand how we are going. The constructive journal is on progress, is being written, right? And we are just going to, this is my space to think out loud, but with discipline. I'm not going to think out loud and bore you to death, but I'm going to share very important things that I am learning, and I believe that they could be beneficial to someone else out there. And so it's going to be just clarity, and then we are going to propose the next action, and we're going to see maybe the services that we can derive from that. So I'm not going to be like a teacher from a pedestal from somewhere. No. It's going to be us conversing. I really hope that you could subscribe and at least sometimes comment, especially on these new episodes, like to let me know what you think about my ways of solving a particular problem. So just, it will be interesting to hear your voices also this season. And if you can, I would love if you can even send me voice messages on my, is it WhatsApp or email? And just, I could make them part. If you have any questions, I could make them part of this new season. Amazing season. And it's not going to be about motivational performance as well. No, it's not going to be some overproduced content this season. I believe this season and this year is going to be the same, right? Not going to be about overproduced or some scripted things, or not having it's not about having answers before speaking, but yeah, it's going to be raw conversations. So welcome to the SelfSeed podcast. Welcome to the constructive journal of the SelfSeed podcast. I believe this season is going to be amazing, and we are going to get to learn more about each other. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow the SelfSeed podcast wherever you get your podcast episodes from. And let's get it going. Let's get rolling. And see you in the next one.